Hello, and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today, we're doing an open tag. It is the dumbest knife challenge open tag, as well as a review of the REVO Vipera. Um, so it just so happened JT's Knife Life, link in the description below, just created an open tag, dumbest knife purchase challenge, where we talk about some or one of our dumbest knife purchases. Now, obviously, if you've been in the knife hobby long enough, you've made multiple dumb knife purchases. Hopefully, not too many. But it just so happens that around this time, I actually had ordered a knife from Knife Center, and it is a dumb knife, in my opinion. So we're going to talk about it as well as we review this, um, and why I think this is a dumb knife purchase, and whatnot. But we will get into the specs of this knife. Overall, I mean, it looks cool. It's a cool looking knife, but I will tell you why it is dumb for me personally. So, going over the specs, the blade length is 2.15 inches long. The cutting edge is 1.95 inches. The closed length is 2.875 inches. The overall length is 4.87 inches. The blade thickness is 0.112. And the handle thickness is 0.45. Which is kind of a thick knife. I don't know. Whatever. The weight on this knife is 1.8 ounces, which it feels a bit heavier than that. So, going into this is my first inspection or review of a REVO knife. I will say I was pretty impressed with the packaging. It does come with this really nice hard case here with REVO, textured REVO on the case. And then when you open it up, came with some stickers and literature, and then it has this padding and has like a bungee to hold the knife in the case. The case is really nice. I do like the case. It's quality compared to some other stuff. And it's a nice touch. And so that's how it came. Blah. All right. That being said, when I opened it, I was shocked because a lot of times, I'm checking out the internet here and there, looking for new things, looking at things that look cool or interesting. And sometimes I'm a lot more spontaneous than I would like, or more spontaneous than I should be. And this was definitely a spontaneous purchase. And so I didn't really look over the specs. So when I got it, I was kind of shocked at how small it was. I thought it was going to be a little bit more similar in size to like the Robin, if not bigger, like the Chaparral size. Something that gives you a small but 4-finger grip. And so I thought, it was going to be similar to that size. That being said, I was shocked. But whatever. Either way, I'm a knife reviewer, so that was kind of my bad as far as the first step going into buying this knife. When I got it, I pulled it out. I was like, "Oh, this looks cool. G10 is done well. There's champering on the edges. It got this smooth flat. There's texture here." I turned it over. I was like, "Oh, sweet, deep carry, kind of short pocket clip." The hardware isn't flat, but it works. It's a deep enough clip that it works pretty well, and that might be actually the saving grace of this knife. You do have a lanyard slot made from that G10 backspacer. There's jimping up top that felt good. And I was like, okay. And then I go to open the knife. And open the knife. And open the knife. And and that is where I realize how stupid this knife is. So we will get into that more in a second, but realistically, this is a hollow grind, plain edge blade. You do have a little bit of a swedge angle up here, kind of an abrupt drop point, clip point, / shallow Warncliffe. I don't know what you want to call it. even reverse Tonto potentially. Stonewash blade, you do have the R right there for Revo, and then no other visible markings as far as I'm aware. Which is kind of nice, fairly clean. It is a liner lock, and I feel like the actual liner lock is actually pretty strong, and that might be part of the reason why it's kind of tough to deploy this. It does run on bronze phosphorus washers, and yeah. And the blade steel is just described as 9CR stainless steel. So I don't know if it's 9CR 13 MOV or 9CR 18, but just 9CR, so that's ambiguous. I mean, overall, the fit and finish is pretty nice on this. I'm not going to lie. But for me, a pocket knife is all about how you actually can deploy the knife and use it. And unfortunately, it has way too small of a thumb hole for one hand deployment. The edge in there is kind of rounded or chamfered, and so it doesn't grip your thumb as well. The other side, if I was left hand carry, is actually much sharper and easier to deploy. But and two, I feel like it's located too close to the pivot, so you don't have the leverage that you do in some other knives, where you're down here and you actually have more leverage to open it. For whatever reason, with the detent strength, the small thumb hole, the lack of a sharp edge to open it, like it just is not a well designed deployment method. And maybe it's just this specific one I got, but either way, it does not work for me. And in turn, it's just stupid. Even using two hands to open it, it's just dumb. And that is why it's one of my dumbest knives. It's dumb because I paid, I thought, okay, this is a deal, $40, but it's just dumb because it's small. It's smaller than I thought, and that's dumb on my part because I don't look at the specs. And then when I actually get it in hand, it could have had a saving grace by being a good functional knife, but it's not for me. Like, I can't get it open, and then it's just small and it's stupid. So, I'm sorry to the knife designer, but like, when you're looking at the actual engineering of this, it's not a practical design for deploying the blade and whatnot. Other than that, the materials are fine. Fit and finish is fine. The deep carry pocket clip was, like I said, the saving grace, because that is really deep carry. It goes all the way to the end there. But just crap, in my opinion. And but we'll compare it nonetheless. So here's, I forgot what the diode, and here's the Robin. As you can see, it sits squarely in between there as size. The diode, I thought I wouldn't like initially because it's so shallow. It just has that kind of fuller there or whatever. But it's really easy to deploy, and it works great. And it's smaller. But it works. This, nah. I can close it fine. It's just the opening sucks. And of course this. So, blade thickness. It is a thick piece of steel on there. That's probably why the handle's so thick. So, I mean, it's robust feeling. It does feel tough. But, what's the good of a tough knife if you can't get it open? So, yeah, so there's that. I'm not even going to try it with an ugly brown glove test because I'm not going to be able to get it open single-handed, so whatever. It's definitely not a one-handed opening knife in my opinion. So yeah, so that's my dumbest knife challenge response. Another dumb knife I thought was this one. It's from Outdoor Edge. It's kind of their survival knife. Has a blade, it has a whistle on it, and it has a ferro rod and then a tinder storage in there. So, I mean, it covers all your basic survival things as far as like fire making. The blade is thin and questionable. It's off-center. It's asymmetrical. The plastic's super cheap. And honestly, I thought this was a pretty dumb knife. But after using this one I can open and close one-handed. So this one's better. But yeah. So there you have it, guys. I think the other thing too is with dumb knives, it's somewhat justifiable if you can get them for a really good price. But paying $40 for a knife that I can't open and use easily, it makes me feel more stupid. This is a dumb knife. The materials are cheap, but it was only 15 bucks, and I could actually do survival skills with this. So it is what it is. So the only saving graces with this knife are the case and the clip and materials. But yeah, that's my dumb knife. Remember, this is the open tag challenge. I will leave a link to JT's original video. And if you know, I can't recommend this knife. So if I were you, I would avoid it. Thank you, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace, and I'll see you outside.